So just like I said about season one, Heartstopper season two is so freaking cute. And it's extremely gay. But the question is, this time around, is that enough? And welcome to my safe haven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking on another video and joining me here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. But if this is your first time clicking on one of my videos and coming across my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek, and I always say the things I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the force. I like to talk superheroes, video games, comic books, action movies, sci-fi, horror movies, animated movies, and of course I like to talk about black representation and queer representation. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you love blood, sex, gore, and magic just like I do, and you love the fact that there's a black queer man talking about blood, sex, gore, and magic, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, become one of my community, become a part of my community, become one of my safe haven ears, which is what I call all of my followers and subscribers. And then also you can help me out and help out the channel and help this channel continue to grow and help with the YouTube algorithm on this particular video by hitting the like button. Like I said, it'll really help with the YouTube algorithm, getting this video out there, getting it recommended to other people so other people can come across my channel and possibly subscribe, getting my channel out there so I can continue to grow this Black Gay Comic Geek LLC empire. But with that said, guys, I just finished, well, I didn't just finish. I saw it like 2 weeks ago, so I could have been put this review out, but stuff happens, life happens, and then also I get lazy. But I got to see Heartstopper like a good 2 weeks ago, and I binged like the entire second season in one day. So I was up pretty much all night, even though I had to work the next day. But anyway, we're here to talk about Heartstopper season 2. It officially came out last week for everybody else. So this is gonna be a non-spoiler review for Heartstopper season 2. And so getting into what season 2 is pretty much about. Season 2 continues what happened that we saw once season 1 left off, where Nick and Charlie are officially together. Nick came out to his mother and he's slowly working on becoming more comfortable with his newly discovered bisexuality, and he's working on coming out to more and more people and more friends throughout this season. And then also this season takes place, the majority of it takes place on a school trip that they took to Paris. And so all the hijinks ensue, and then it also continues the storyline of Elle and Tao and the will they, won't they relationship that they established in season 1, and a whole bunch of all the other characters that we saw introduced and that we've grown to love introduced in season 1. And this particular season, season 2, it follows volume 3 of the graphic novel written by Alice Oseman, who is also the writer, and I think she's the showrunner of Heartstopper, the live action version as well. And good news, just to let everybody know, for the fans out there for Heartstopper, Heartstopper's already been renewed for season 3, so we already know we're gonna get a season 3 for Heartstopper, and Alice Oseman actually said she's already writing season 3 already, so we should hopefully get season 3 by probably next year. Well, there's a strike going on right now, so who knows, actually, now that I think about it. But with that said, if y'all follow my channel for a long enough time, you already know that I got a whole bunch of movies, video games, comics, all that stuff that I haven't touched. So as you can see, I do have volume 3 of the comic. I also have volumes 1 and 2. Don't ask me if I read it, because you already know the answer, but I have it, so I will get to it eventually, especially now that I've seen season 2. And I did a whole thing talking about red, white, and royal blue. If you haven't seen my review for that, click the link up here. But I did see after, because I read the red, white, and royal blue book before I saw the movie. And after watching the movie, it reinforced this idea that I have that I would rather wait to see the live action version and then go back and read the book. So now that season 2 is done, and I know it's been based on the graphic novel volume 3. Now I'm gonna go back and read. I gotta read volumes 1 and 2 first, but I'm eventually get to volume 3. So like I said, don't judge me. There's a whole bunch of books that I gotta get through that I haven't gotten through yet that are just sitting on my shelf. But anyway, let's talk about season 2. Again, non-spoiler review. Hey, that rhymed. So getting into season 2, just like I kind of said in the intro of this video, season 2 was just as cute and fun as season 1. That rhymed too. Maybe, what's going on? Maybe I should start going into poetry or being a rapper. But with that said, but the thing about season 2 that I enjoy more about season 1 is we're getting to see more of the auxiliary characters be fleshed out in this season than we did in last season. So we get to see more of the relationship between Al and between Ellie and Tao. We get to see more of Darcy and Tara. We get to see more of their other friend, Isaac, who's constantly reading a book the whole time. We get to see more about his relationship, more about his sexuality, and learn more about him as a character. And it's not just about Nick and Charlie, but also with that, we get to learn more and see more of the relationship develop between Nick and Charlie, and really see Charlie start to come into his own, come into his, not just his sexuality, but start to defend himself more and slowly start to get out of the woods that he was in from last season with all of the bullying that he went through before he met Charlie. Or Nick, rather, before he met Nick. And another surprise character that we actually got to see a little bit more of was the character of Imogen, who had a crush on Nick in season 1, only to find out that he's dating Charlie and doesn't really have feelings for her outside of just being friends. We get to see more of her character and the new person that she has feelings for, which I was just like, girl. And sadly enough, I actually know people like that, funny enough, that like are constantly falling for gay or bisexual men. And I'm not gonna say who she ends up falling for, but yeah, I was just like, oh, Imogen, I feel so bad for you. And funny enough, like this season endeared me to her character a little bit more because honestly, I didn't care for her last season. She honestly annoyed me last season, but this season I've come around on the Imogen train, and now I'm interested to see where her story ends up going based on how this season ended, where her character and story ends up going in season 3. And not only just that, but speaking of characters getting more development and more screen time, we even get to see some of the teachers get a little bit more storyline added to their characters, despite this show really following the kids and the students and it being a YA adapted live action television show based on a novel or a graphic novel. Yeah, we get to see some gay romance flourishing with the teacher that we met last season. That was the one that I think he's a guidance counselor, the one that helped Charlie get over or help him get through his bullying struggles. He actually reminds me very much of Billy Porter. So that tells you who I'm talking about in case you don't know who I'm talking about. But with this season, even though I liked it overall, I do feel like, I don't know, the show, at least for me, it's too cute. Like we need to spice it up a little bit more. And I don't even mean, when I say spice it up, I don't even mean in the sex aspect, but I do mean that too. Like I say, things I love, blood, sex, gore, and magic. But like even some of the struggles that these characters go through, like some of it kind of made me roll my eyes a little bit, how they're making it seem like it's so dramatic and all. And I get, as a kid, everything seems dramatic to you, even the smallest things. But like there are moments, like I mentioned, part of the struggle for this season for Nick is coming out to the people that are closest to him. And so this might be a slight spoiler, but not really. But he ends up coming out to his brother, or his brother finds out that Nick is bisexual. And yeah, the way his brother reacted was a little trash, but at the same time, it wasn't that bad. And so all the drama built around how his brother was reacting to him being bisexual, he mostly just didn't believe bisexuality existed. But it didn't seem like he fully had a problem with Nick being gay. I mean, he had somewhat of an issue, or not gay, but in a gay relationship. And yeah, he had somewhat of an issue with it, but not to the extent that some people have issues with their brother. Or like, for example, when I was younger, one of my brothers, and it's still kind of why I don't talk to him to this day, because I never forgot that, and he never really apologized for it. But when I was younger, I remember one of my brothers came to me, was just like, yo, if I ever find out that you gay, obviously if you're saying that to me, you must have some level of inclination or whatever. You must suspect. Granted, I wasn't out at that time. I think I was maybe like 15, 16, maybe 14. But he was like, if I ever find out that you gay, I'm gonna beat that shit out of you till you change your mind or whatever. I don't want to ever hear that shit from you or whatever. He was drunk or whatever, but still, he obviously still felt that way. And like I said, I never really got over that. So he and I don't really talk to this day. He tries to talk to me sometimes, but I really don't. My other brother's like, yo, you should call, I was almost say his name, but he'd be like, you should call such and such for his birthday. Or you should call, have you spoken to such and such? He was here. And I'm like, man, I don't really care. So I bring all that up to say, like, that was a more extreme reaction to me being gay as opposed to the reaction that Nick got from his brother. And I was like, and like I said, that's his experience. And so for him, that seems dramatic and that seems upsetting and stuff. But as a viewer, as a person that consumes a whole lot of media, I was just like, that's it. Like, that was the most tamest reaction. And that's kind of how I felt with a lot of the drama, or a decent amount of the drama in this series. I was just like, we need to spice it up. And then also when it comes to the sex, they're like almost seniors in high school. There's no way that Nick and Charlie aren't trying to experiment and have sex at a certain point. Like, and again, not a big spoiler. There's so much I want to talk about, but I'm trying to tap dance around it. But like, basically, I say all this to say Nick and Charlie aren't having sex because Nick says kissing is all I really want to do. But then at one point, and this was in the trailer so I could talk about it, he gave Charlie a hickey. So clearly kissing is not all you want to do. But like, I'm just like, could we, like, even with Love Victor was getting tooted out. Victor was a full bottom for both Benji and that other guy that he met. Like, Victor was a slut, basically. And honestly, that's a real reaction to the first time, like, especially in gay relationship, the first time you discover your homosexuality, and then you meet somebody that you have feelings for, and then, like, sometimes, especially for the first time, we do fall quickly and we do fall hard because a lot of times we do feel alone in the beginning. Then we finally find somebody else that feels the same way we do. It's not to say every gay person gives it up, at a young age. Like, I didn't lose my virginity till I was 20. So, but I was definitely still doing other things before I fully had sex. So for them to say, oh yeah, all I want to do is kiss, I'm like, come on now, like, spice it up. That's really that's really my biggest criticism for season 2. Spice it up. And it's, again, not just for the sex. I think the only character that really had more, the spiciest plot line, again, I'm not referring to sex, but I just mean the drama of the relationship, was the character of Darcy. Like, everything that's going on with the character of Darcy and her mother and her family and her relationship and all of that dynamic, that was the darkest moment in this show. And I do kind of wish they delved more into that, especially considering how we know how Darcy is and how she's so supposedly the most confident one of the groups, the one that's embracing her sexuality, the one that's almost like the leader of the group. And then you find out what's actually happening with her at home. You're just like, oh wow, like, I would have liked to have seen more of that. And of course, probably we're going to get more of that in season 3. But in this season, I would have liked to have seen more of that. And speaking of more of, I do got to say, because if you saw my review for season 1, if you haven't, click the link up here. But I was definitely a Ben defender, played by Sebastian Croft. And I kind of still am a Ben defender. Like, I feel bad for Ben. And yes, let me get this out there. Ben is trash. Ben deserves to suffer a little bit. But considering he's still a kid, he's really, I don't know how it works in like England, because it's like they're in 6th form in school. I don't know what grade that translates to in like American terminology. I'm assuming maybe like juniors in high school, maybe. I don't know, or maybe even sophomores in high school. I don't think they're freshmen. But I feel bad for Ben only because I can relate to that. Like, being, not to the point that I become like that I was trash and toxic regarding it, but in some ways, I kind of I understand that feeling of not wanting to come out, being scared to come out, the reaction that you might get from your family. and things like that. And so you push people away. And like, cause I remember there was somebody that I used to be that I was friends with in elementary school. We're not friends anymore because, you know, sometimes when you grow apart, you're no longer in school together, and then people have lives, and so you end up growing apart. But I remember like this person wanted to be friends with me, but because there was a rumor that he was like gay because he was super flamboyant and things like that, I didn't want to have anything to do with him. And so like I would ignore him, not treat him badly, but like essentially I would ignore. He would try to call me. I'd be like, how the fuck, like, how did you get my number? Don't leave me alone. Eventually, as the years went by, we became friends. We became close friends once we started interacting more and were in school and went to high school and stuff like that together. But like in the beginning, I was basically Ben because I didn't want to be associated with that. I didn't want people to know I was gay or think because I'm hanging out with this guy, like that means we're sleeping together. Any of those, I didn't want any of that association. So because of that, and then also you add the fact that he's a kid. He's a teenager. He's probably like 16, 15. Again, I'm not sure what grade they're in school, but like, I feel bad for Ben. I do. Granted, like I said, he's trash, but I feel bad for Ben. And so I'm glad we got to see a little bit more of Ben's character, but I do wish we got to see more development of Ben's character. We got to see him start to grow. And then also, considering what happens at the end of this season, I hope this isn't the last we get to see of Ben, because in many ways, because of the way he is, there isn't really a place for him in Nick and Charlie's friend group, because everybody's accepting of homosexuality and lesbian relationships and all of that stuff. So I do hope we get to see more of Ben. And I also like Sebastian Croft and like his dynamic with the other characters. So hopefully this isn't the end of Ben and we get to see him finally have that turnaround moment and grow and develop. So, but I do like what happens and the story that happens at the end and the resolution that we got between Charlie and Ben. At least the resolution from this season, but I hope that's not the end of Ben. I don't care. I'm gonna be a Ben defender. I'm a Ben defender. So there you go. But I definitely think one of my favorite storylines and moments in this season were all the moments between Elle and Tao. Like, I really like their relationship together and the way they are with each other. And then speaking of, like, I never really paid that much attention to Tao, but and this is in the trailer, there's a moment where Tao, because, you know, he has the long hair, but he cuts his hair and he has his hair shorter. And that's when I was like, oh, wait, the actor William Gao? I was like, Tao is a look like Tao. Tao's kind of hot. Like, Tao could get it. Or rather, William Gao could get it, because I can say that because William Gao is in his 20s. Tao is a child. So I can't say that. I can't say Tao could get it, but William Gao, he could get it. It's like I said, I never paid him any attention, but then when he cut his hair, I was like, oh, wait, he's kind of cute. But overall, I did enjoy Heartstopper Season 2. Like I said, my biggest criticism is I just want things to be spiced up a little bit more. So hopefully that happens for Season 3. But I still enjoy diving into the world of these characters and everything that's going on in their lives, especially with these particular actors. And so I would still recommend people check out Heartstopper Season 2. Obviously, I know there's going to be people that love this season maybe just as much or more than they love Season 2. Everybody's opinions are different. But with that said, have you guys seen Heartstopper Season 2? Let me know all of your thoughts about Heartstopper Season 2. That's enough about me ranting. What are your thoughts? Did you love this season as much as Season 2? Did you hate this season? Did you thought the season was mad? Did you think it was okay? Do you not like this show at all? Have you read the graphic novel? How does this compare to the novel? Let me know all of your thoughts. Hopefully you made it to the end of this video, because as I mentioned, watch time is king for YouTube. So hopefully I was interesting enough for you to make it to the end of this video. Like, share, comment, interact for the all gay rhythm. And if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.